This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here. Here's my review of the HTC One M8. Now last year the HTC One M7 really surprised me, especially when it came to its build quality. But HTC now is looking to build upon that and really nail it with the software and everything else with this phone. So let's go and jump right into this review and first talk about the design. Now design-wise, this phone is definitely unmatched by no other phone on the market right now. It is a beautiful phone to look at. When you first pick it up, you're going to feel the weight of a very solid built phone. It is a very nice unibody design now, so that means that everything is going to be a lot smoother and the edge is going to be a lot rounder. Now this is great when it comes to looks, but when you combine this with the exercise that this phone has over the previous edition of it, you will find this phone to be a little bit hard to hold in one hand. In my case, I was at a public setting like a bar and people were bumping it to me, and I was trying to use it with one hand like I normally like to use my phone, but it forced me to use it with two hands because I just felt that it could slip out of my hand at any moment. Now in some cases this forces you into two options. One is to use it with two hands, or two, to use it with a case. Now luckily HTC has released one of the coolest accessories in a very long time, the Dot View case, which runs for about 50 bucks. This case allows you to get full protection over your phone and also a nice grip onto it. But also too, it's very cool, so you can answer phone calls directly through the case. You can actually answer or decline a phone call just by swiping up or down. And also if you double tap just on the case while your phone is already asleep, you can see information like the weather or the time, or if you have any type of missed phone call on the case, which is a very cool addition to have. And then also too, when you are taking a phone call, you can talk right through the case itself. You don't need to open up that flip cover. So this case is really cool. Like I said, you can still use all the other functions of the phone, but again, just coming down to the build quality, I love the design, I love the look of it. It's just a little too slippery for me. Now this phone comes in two different storage configurations, 16 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes. Now the 16 gigabytes really only leaves you with 10 gigabytes to play around with, and the 32 gigabytes only leave you with 24 gigabytes to play around with. So this definitely is limiting, but HTC has thrown in a micro SD card slot on the right hand side of the phone now, so you can pop that thing open, pop in a micro SD card slot and expand your storage, which is definitely a welcome addition to have on this phone. Now at the top you will find an IR blaster. Basically the entire top is one big IR blaster to use this phone to control your TV. Setup is a breeze, and it's definitely a good remote control to have when you do lose your other control in your couch cushion or your dog chews it up. And you'll also see that the power button has been moved from the top left to the top right hand side of the phone, which is definitely better than last year, but it's still not the best that it can be because you need to have that power button on the side of the phone to really be very comfortable to reach. Now HTC has added their new motion launch gestures to help battle this power button location problem. Basically this allows you to swipe on your phone to do different things. So basically when your phone is in sleep mode, you can double tap on the screen to wake it up. You can swipe left to launch the widget panel. If you swipe right to launch blink feed, or if you swipe up, you'll go ahead and unlock the phone. And if you swipe down, you're going to activate voice dialing to call somebody very fast. Then also too, if you pick up the phone in landscape orientation and you press the volume buttons, you'll actually go ahead and launch the camera application. Since most of your pictures will probably be in landscape mode, this is very cool to be able to do, and you don't have to swipe anything on the screen. Just pick it up, press the volume button, and now you're ready to go ahead and snap a picture. And one feature on this new HTC One that is still unmatched by any other phone on the market right now are the boom sound speakers. Now gone is the Beats affiliation, now they just boom sound, but they still sound amazing. So if you heard the speakers on the last year version of HTC One, you're gonna be very familiar with the type of quality that you can get from these speakers. And so while you're playing a movie, playing a video game, or just watching any type of video content on the web, or just playing music, you're really gonna be blown away. So boom sound speakers are still a plus. And now it's going to move on to the camera. Now the rear facing camera is a 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera that HTC calls it. Basically means that these pixels are going to be bigger than anything else out there on the market right now. Now you'll also notice another camera that's placed right on top of the main rear camera, and which is going to be basically used for capturing depth of field information. So this means that every picture that you take, you can go into the software afterwards and choose your focal point in the picture. So you can basically say, hey, I want to focus on this baby in the background doing something stupid, or I want to focus on me in the foreground doing something stupid. You can choose that in the software. Now when it comes to overall quality, I would say that this camera is actually decent. It's not that bad as you may think when you talk about a 4 megapixel camera compared to an 8 megapixel, 15 megapixel camera on phones nowadays. I would say that some of my shots were overexposed in areas more often than not, but overall I was able to get some decent shots, and the same thing goes for the video. Now the video, it can't shoot full 1080p video. It's not going to be shooting UHD or 4K video like other cell phones on the market right now, but you are able to get some decent shots. Now they did lose the optical image stabilization from the previous HTC One M7, which is definitely a drawback, but it wasn't as bad as other phones on the market right now because there's not a lot of phones that have that. But overall, I would say the M8, on paper, it may not sound that great when it comes to a camera. And again, it's not my favorite camera on a cell phone right now, but it will get the job done. Now, I really do like the new camera application that has been redone and made a little bit more simpler to use. Of course, you have the manual controls, but also too, they have a lot of cool effects you can add to your photos. One being a 3D effect by using that depth of field information that you get from that secondary rear camera. Now you can go ahead and play around with the 3D image of really any image that you take. And they also have an abundance of other different effects and filters that you can add to your pictures that are really fun to use. And I did play around with a little bit, and I was able to get some really nice looking results. Now, last year's HTC One featured a 4.7-inch full 1080p display that rocked 468 ppi, but this new M8 features a 5-inch display, so it's up slightly, and it's also still 1080p, but the pixel density is down to 441. And so even though the PPI did take a little bit of a hit, the display still is very sharp and bright. Now, when it comes to software, this new HTC One is running Android 4.4 KitKat. Now, it is running HTC Sense 6.0 on top of that, so of course it's a skin. But when you take a look around the OS, especially on the home screen, you'll find that it didn't stray too far from stock Android when it comes to certain things like icons and all the other transparency effects that you will find throughout the OS. Now, Blink Feed has been redesigned. It's going to be faster to scroll through, and also you can do any type of keyword search. So you can search for Soldier Knows Best or sushi or whatever. You can have those results show up in Blink Feed. So Blink Feed just way more useful this year, and it's really gotten away from feeling too much like Flipboard, but it's a very nice addition to have in HTC Sense now. And now let's talk battery life, because it is impressive. I've been able to use this phone for at least 2 days straight with no problems at all, maybe getting to around 5 or 6 o'clock of the next day before I needed to put on a charger when I was around like 6 or 7%. And also, while reviewing this phone, I carried around another phone that I didn't have activated on any network, so I used my M8 as a portable hotspot, and I was still able to get through an entire day of usage with the thing. And also, I found that with my M8, I had the portable hotspot on and was using it, and my iPhone that I was carried around died before my M8 did. So that's really just shows you how impressive the battery life is on this phone. Now, another thing built into Sense 6.0 are on-screen controls. So you don't have those hardware controls that you found with the M7. This M8 will feature these on-screen controls. So if you're watching a video, they'll disappear. But when you're doing most other things, they'll be on the bottom of the screen. But again, they'll come and go depending on how the app uses it. Now, really the most important thing about the software is that it flies on this hardware. The quad-core processor is really pushing everything through at blazing speed. I mean, opening up different apps and switching between things while multitasking. This phone was the fastest phone that I personally use when just doing anything on there. It really handled everything with ease, and that really shows you how HTC has optimized this new Sense software to work with the hardware very, very nicely. And so let me go in and wrap up my review of this new HTC One. This phone is almost flawless. A couple things that could definitely be improved in the next version with the camera. Just bump up the megapixels, bump up the quality, and also too, with the overall feel of the hardware. It looks amazing. Just allow me to get a better grip on the phone. I think HTC can work that out. But other than that, guys, almost everything else about this phone is really spot on. They really took the time to really make this advance from the M7 to the M8 feel as seamless as possible. I'm really liking the way the software reacts to you and what they've done with the new 6.0 software, especially with Blink Feed. And then again, HTC is nailing the design and the boom sound speakers. And so this new M8 definitely ranks in the top smartphones on the market right now, and is easily in the running for the top smartphone for 2014 already, and has a really good chance of being that phone. So again, guys, thanks for watching this video. Leave your comment down below what you think about this review of the HTC One M8. Let me know what you think about the phone. I know some of you do have it, and thanks for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace. And today's sponsor is Dollar Shave Club. If you're tired of having to go to the store and buy new razors and spend more money than you want to, Dollar Shave Club can take care of that, because they can ship you razors straight to your door just for a few bucks a month. And you don't even have to worry about the quality, because their razors are just as good as all the other big shave companies. In order to get a good shave, you need to get a good foundation on your skin. So that's why they have Dr. Carver's Easy Shave Butter to make your shave even more smooth. And then also they have these One Wipe Charlies, which will help you get clean after you do your business. You know what I'm talking about. So it's never a bad thing to be clean as possible. So go ahead and check out Dollar Shave Club by going to dollarshaveclub.com/soldier, and I'll put the link down below. Again, that's dollarshaveclub.com/soldier.